And he really is the prince of this ground. What a mighty fullback.
And he's gone straight through. The prince is away. Oh, he's got another one. Stewart gets a hat-trick.
Goes high. Oh, what a take. What a take. He scored again, Brett Stewart. That is absolutely fantastic. 25 games at Brookvale. 25 tries. Stewart's into space again. He'll score again. Looking for another. He might have 35 from 34. 39 tries at Brookvale for the magician. Albert gets his kick in. Morris underneath it. Oh, Brett Stewart has scored. Brett Stewart scores try number 90.
There he is. The prince is over. And the comeback is underway.
And on the long road back, Brett Stewart has paid tribute to the Manly fans who've shown him so much support, and they have turned out in healthy numbers at Brookvale Oval again this afternoon as we welcome you to Sunday afternoon rugby league for the clash between the Sea Eagles and the unbeaten Newcastle Knights. Very much about the return of the prodigal son this afternoon, and what a record he brings. 52 tries from 55 games here for Brett Stewart, the side unbeaten in 16 straight when he's been on the try scorers list. And Andrew Johns, he looked very good last week. The longer the game went, the more confident he was becoming.
Yeah, he covered a lot of metres, Stella. He was always around the play. He sniffs out an opportunity. He didn't really get too much opportunity last week, but he was always thereabouts. Look, he loves playing here at Brookie. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores a few tries today.
Now, for young halfback Daly Cherry Evans, his job was made much easier by the performance of Kieran Foran.
Well, sensational. Just the defence in particular on bigger men. That one on Jason Rolls lifted his team. That tackle there lifted the team, was inspirational. The next set of six, a long ball. He scores it in the corner. He's a future superstar of the game. I love watching him play. He's such a tough competitor. He's only going to get better and better.
Well, they have lost Tony Williams this afternoon with an ankle injury, but they welcome back Glenn Stewart and Jason King. At fullback, Brett Stewart. On the wings, Michael Robertson and David Williams. The centre pairing, Will Hopoate, and in jersey 18, Michael Oldfield. Kieran Foran at 5'8", Daly Cherry Evans the halfback. Glenn Stewart locks the scrum, Anthony Watmoe and Joe Nullarbau, with the captain Jason King, Matt Ballin and Brent Kite. Off the bench, Terence Siu and Jamie Bura. George Rose, Vic Morrow, they're coached by Des Hasler. Newcastle looked very good in the opening fortnight. No Kurt Gidley again this afternoon, but Jared Mullen has been in career best form.
Oh, he's phenomenal, Sterlo. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays for the Blues this year. His leadership, he's taken on more responsibility within the team. His kicking game, his all-round play, his running game's just been phenomenal. If they're to win, he needs to have a big game today.
Well, they're a very well-balanced side. With Gidley's absence, it was the same 17 that beat the Cowboys last week.
Why the nice lineup. Number 18, Shannon McDonald comes in for the injured Kurt Gidley. On the wings, James McManus and Aquila Uarte. In the centres, Junior Sau and Wes Nguama. In the halves, at 5'8", Bo Henry, and at halfback and captain, Jared Mullen. In the back row, we have Zeb Taia at lock, Chris Houston, and Corey Patterson comes into the run-on squad. And in the front row, Antonio Kafusi, Matt Hilda, Ivan Tuamavave. And the interchange, Cameron Serraldo drops back with Ben Rogers, Richie Faoso, Dan Toller, and they're coached by Rick Stone.
So Newcastle going out behind Jared Mullen, their first appearance here at Brookvale since 2006, where their record is disappointing to say the least. 11 times they've visited and they've only won twice. One of those times was back in 06 when Joey Johns, in fact, was man of the match. In fact, it was the last time they won here, and Jared Mullen is the only survivor. There's Aquila Uarte. He got 3 tries in their last meeting. Now the red stripe on what we might call the flat mohawk, I've got no idea what it's about. I think the last Novocastrian to wear it in football was Joey Johns about 15 years ago, but this fellow would have been 8 years of age at that time. So Newcastle on top of the table coming into this round. They haven't been in that position since 2006. That's Bo Henry, a try in each of his 2 NRL games. And Manly still to come. They'll get a rousing reception because of this reappearance of Brett Stewart, which Peter and Andrew have gone through. The Narrabeen under 8s are going out. And this is Tristan Di Maria, 4 years of age, was involved in a tragic accident We saw his left leg amputated below the knee last December. And young Tristan and his family, huge fans of the club, and they've been invited to training in today's clash with the Knights. And a wonderful thrill for Tristan to lead the Manly Eagles out, not forgetting those Narrabeen under-8s. Well, there he is, Brett Stewart, 2 tries short of the 100 benchmark. It's only been reached before by 2 of the greats, Stephen Menzies and Bobby Fulton. Jason King, of course, the captain today, solo. I would imagine solo. Glenn Stewart is back. Dale Cherry Evans, he's grabbed his opportunity firmly and with confidence. 5 from 5 off the boot last Sunday, plus a drop goal in only his 2nd top-grade appearance.
Make sure you stay on side, boys. Stay back.
So Manly will run left to right.
Stay back, lad.
They're running towards the southern end. It's towards the Pittwater Road end of the ground, or the Brookvale Primary School end of the ground. Phil, for your benefit. Now there's the kickoff. Cherry Evans goes high and deep.
Watch his head.
And it's brought back by Kafusi.
That's well. Move. 10's in lead. Hold the 10. Go.
So Newcastle now with Taia, I think it is. The Tuamavave, who was in doubt for the game. It's played by Ivan. And then Mullen got a short ball away for Houston. Newcastle then getting it out to the 30-metre line safely. There's been a couple of showers. It's going to make the ground a little bit greasy. It'll be suited very much to the kickers and will act as a leveller. There's no doubt about that. And this man playing the ball is Hilda. And the ball is fed away for the kick off the left foot, again by Jared Mullen. Shannon McDonald has been up doing some dummy half work. He's in the side for Kurt Gidley. Kurt, when they won their last encounter, was in the side, and Shannon was in the side, but Kurt was, I think, that day playing 7 or 6. But no Gidley in the game today. This is Brett Kite now, and he's going to play it almost out to the 40-metre line. The Eagles in front of a pretty good crowd, really, considering it's muggy, it's humid, and we are very much on the northern beaches as Anthony Watmo is able to get a ball away. Well done. It's gone to Joe Nullavow, and Houston rounds him up, puts him down at the end of the tackle count and to the boot of Kieran Foran, and it's a good kick. It's a good kick. Just inside the line.
And a nice opening from both teams, getting to their kick. Jared Mullen kicked from down the short side centre field. And that one from Kieran Foran over the head of Hopoate. Plays good field position. And mistake free from both teams in the opening set.
Get your head all the way in, mate. Keep it in.
Scrum going down. 20 in, 10 out from the Newcastle line, and Hilda with the back of the scrum play, and this is Nagama, and he shed the shorts completely. The shorts are gone completely off Wes Nagama, so put the R up for R rated now.
Thing their whip or their hat. I've never seen anyone lose their pants like this. There's the shorts, they're gone. They're ripped off. So he's out there in the jocks.
Here's Patterson playing the ball.
Does that mean he'll weigh in light, Ray?
Absolutely.
He's got the ball.
He's got the ball, Nagama. With no shorts, he's going down the right side. Bearing just about everything to the breeze. Now, it's Mullen who stabs a little left footer in, and Dale Cherry Evans good. Very, very good.
Well, if they pull the undies off, we're in trouble.
Here it goes. Here's the denuding. And
he didn't have a hole in the undies,
he
did he?
A little pop hole or a fly there. It didn't come open, thank God. Well, this is lovely Sunday afternoon entertainment, this. This is lovely to start the afternoon for the children at home. I do apologise, but it's very funny. Here's Ballon. It's not that funny. And that's gone on to Nullavow, and then to Kite, and now to Kieran Foran. And now for Daly Cherry Evans, and he rolls it down, and it's going to cross the sideline. Exactly where Kieran found it just earlier. McDonald in 19. And here's the news shorts. Good on you, Wesy boy. At least you came dressed appropriately in case of emergencies.
And he almost got in the clear on 2 occasions in that set. One from the scrum win, and it was very simple, just a blindside shot. And he was claimed from behind. And then towards the end of that, he almost got away again in behind the line.
Kieran, you stay there, ball in, stay in there, stay in, out.
So Newcastle, this is where the incident happened just a couple of minutes back. This is Hopoate this time, though. And it's come away with Zeb Taia offloading. They're just inside the 30-metre line, played by Kafusi. And that's Ivan Tuamavave. And Matt Hilder, of course, the dummy half today, with Isaac de Gois out. I think I read where he's out till round 5. Tufua is back next week, I'm told. And Costigan round 13. So Newcastle just into opposition territory for Houston. And from Hilder, one play to the right for the kick from Mullen, and he sort of put a banana kick on it, and Williams runs it out of that corner.
That's the second time he's tried that type of kick. The first one was the one taken by Daly Cherry Evans in his own in goal. Some heavy treatment there on Michael Robertson. And now young Hopoate out of dummy half. Very bunched at the moment, the Eagles.
Just his second run on centre three-quarter appearance for William Hopoate, who came away with a try out of that scintillating victory over the Roosters. Now Jason King getting it up towards halfway. He got suspended for lifting the knee. Now that's come off a Newcastle player. The referee has deemed that it didn't interfere with the play, and so he's let play go on. Had Manly been disadvantaged, he would have been quite within his rights to put a penalty together. This is Hopoate.
And Andrew Johns, I do remember that game where you came with a similar hairstyle. How did you go setting the precedent? What was your performance like that day?
I can't really remember, Sterlo. I don't really want to think about that. I think we got beat by 40.
So this is Patterson. And Corey Patterson will play the ball right on halfway here on the western side of the ground, and a penalty goes against Manly and against the defence. Referees today, this is Jared Sutton with his arm up, and Shane Hayne, and this is why he objected. They were there, and they were there for too long.
They look very composed, Newcastle, don't they? I mean, they've won their first 2 games of the season away from home. This is their 3rd game away from home. But, you know, winning breeds confidence, and they look like a confident football team at the moment.
Yes, you reminded me there that new stand, I believe, is completed now on the western side. The travelling record last year was terrible, but it's good now, isn't it? 100%. Tuamavave. He's right in front of the uprights, as you can see, up at the northern end of the ground. And here's a ball coming back on the cross, and here's the lock forward, Houston, running off Zeb Taia. So Houston will play it. Hilder, the dummy half, fires it quickly. Mullen goes to the line, pass. Here's a try for Taia. Yeah, Zeb Taia picks up a try. The 2 halves, they combine. Now, what's wrong with the referee? He wants to inquire.
Well, I'd say we'd be looking at the put down, because he gets hit quite high, Zeb Taia, as he's about to plant the football. And from that look, I don't think he's got the football down, but I think he'll get a penalty. Now, if he gets a penalty and he's over the line, it may be a penalty try, but let's not get too far ahead. Taia comes in, he gets clobbered high, the ball, no, he scores.
It's a try.
Oh, well, yes.
It's a try. I'm just wondering whether or not there might be a thought of an 8-point try.
Well, it's Brett Stewart who hits him high.
Yeah, but, you know, I understand that when you commit a foul on a player who's scored a try, well, there mightn't be any downward pressure on that.
There's no downward pressure on that.
No, you're right. There might not be any downward pressure, so we might be looking at a penalty try.
You've only got to look at his reaction. He's not happy. He knows. He looks straight at the referee.
Well, see, if you go back to the 99 grand final when Bill, he got Jamie Ainscough for the tackle on Smith, he was of the belief that the try would have been scored if it had not been for foul play.
And there's no doubt that he got it exactly right, and you've got to say that Zeb Taia would have scored if he hadn't been taken high here. We just have to determine whether the high hit from Brett Stewart was an infringement.
Well, we had one on Monday night where they freeze-framed the vision on a Ben Pomeroy try, and it was a no try. He dropped the ball, and I think he's dropped this one. Well,
benefit of the doubt try is the ruling.
Well,
now, hang on.
He's the most surprised man in Brookvale Oval.
Well, we've got Brett Stewart about to be called out now.
Had we have not had a try here, had we have not had a try there because of the contact around the head area, we possibly would have had a penalty try. Okay?
And no Shepherd there?
No, none at all, mate. Okay, we'll clear that. Thanks, boys.
Okay, well, he's saying we would have had a penalty try anyway, but it still doesn't convince me that this man grounded the ball, and I'm not sure he's so convinced either. Either was Ben Pomeroy in the Sharks try at Shark Park last Monday night. Having said that, Raymond, we're on the board this afternoon, the Newcastle Knights.
And you see here what the Knights, or the Manly players were claiming, that there was a Newcastle player in West Nguama who'd gone through early, and they were wondering if there was a Shepherd. You'll see Nguama go through at the moment. He runs into Oldfield, but Oldfield actually turned and got back in the line and wasn't involved in a tackle because the play went back on his inside.
Nguama then taking the penalty shot. Very interesting moment in this game. Right there. Nguama from 20 in. He gets it. The flags go up, and Newcastle, they draw first blood. 6-0 in Sunday football. Sunday football on Channel 9, and Newcastle, the competition front runners. Leading 6-0 with Hopoate bringing it back 15 from his line. A good kick. It had a lot of hang time.
Yeah, I don't want to get pedantic, Ray, but a couple of the Manly chasers very, very close to getting in front of the kick.
That's Antonio Kafusi. He plays it on the 20-metre line. Little run from James McManus. Little settler. Nothing too flash from Newcastle down this end of the park, which is textbook stuff. And I think that is Zeb Taia underneath there. They're not the easiest team in the world to get it right all the time with, I can assure you. Chiomavave, he plays it. Hilda gets out from dummy half and gets a kick in. He had to hurry it. And Stewart with the ball. Back he goes and down he goes. Three of them there to greet him. And Zeb Taia was the man with the shoulder. Robertson, did he drop the ball? No. David Williams, the other winger, goes away. Taia's the 11, Ngama's the 4. Ngama's got those bright orange boots on. Penalty goes Manly. Penalty Manly against Taia. The try scorer. Strange, isn't it? We're talking about penalty tries and 8-point tries. You're better off with a possible 8-pointer than a penalty try, aren't you?
It's a very good point, Ray.
It's all a matter of inches, isn't it?
He still didn't put the ball down.
Here it goes from Jerry Evans, Glenn Stewart, Brett Stewart, and here's David Williams, the Wolfman. He will play the ball. 9 metres out from the line, Brett Stewart dummy half, Glenn Stewart first, second and wide is Ballin, now King comes back in. Oh, he was buckled over there with Chiomavave underneath. And Kafusi up the top. Here comes Manly again. Back to Jerry Evans and away to Hopoate. Got a ball down. Stewart is there. Looks at the pasture behind the try line. And Williams is cannoned into. Loses the ball. Patterson does well. Patterson held there by Foran. No advantage of the ruling from Shane Hayne. You take it out to the 10-metre line now for the restart.
Take that up, please. I told you at the start of the game, take it up.
Gee, that was a good hit on Williams. Who got him?
I did on the 20, thanks.
I'm not sure Corey Patterson ended up with. It was a nice backline movement. Good cover defence here from Jared Mullen on David Williams.
Not that one.
Back rowers
No, it was
in, lock all the way in.
back on the inside here from Brett Stewart.
It doesn't matter, mate.
He offloads to Williams. And
that one.
That's the hit.
Still don't know who it is.
2 hands on the ball, Jared.
He knew he wasn't getting an advantage, Corey Patterson. He didn't make a big effort to go too far. He was happy to take the scrum and the restart.
So he's inside the touchline. Matt Hilda. Quite laughable, isn't it? Hookers now, they pack in as lock. Play by Junior Sal. And then it was Patterson. This is McDonald. Shannon out to the 30-metre line. Who play it in the centre of the ground. They go across for the kick from Bo Henry.
Great kick.
Yeah, it is a good kick. South Coast Junior. And it's gone end on end, way down the ground and over the northern dead ball line.
Yeah, but it was the right idea. Very, very unlucky, and I guess he surprised himself how far that ball flew, but the timing of it was perfect. Brett Stewart was loitering behind the line. He had no idea that he would kick that early in the tackle count, and he really caught him out of position.
Following One Community's successful Eat Well, Play Well, Stay Well program, the Sea Eagles have launched Ready, Set, Grow. The program hopes to teach children the importance of nutrition and physical activity. For more information on that from the Sea Eagles, go to rloc.com.au. So here's Glenn Stewart on the right side operating with Williams. And David playing the ball on the 40-metre line. We're down Newcastle's end. Watmo went quickly to Ballon. And I think Matt did well to hang on to that because the tackle was strong from Tuamavave. And here is the kick from Cherry Evans, and it's McDonald getting underneath it, and he did well. Foran came down the ground quickly, and he's looking for the turf, and he finds it. Foran had different ideas for him. It's now Houston. Close to the line, Uarte, and Foran puts a right shoulder charge on him, but Uarte bounced away and pinched a few more metres. Nagama dummy half, a run here for Zeb Taia. McDonald goes into dummy half, and they get to the 20-metre line for Ivan Tuamavave.
Well, that's big defence, fifth tackle now, and Jared Mullen or Hilda will be kicking well inside their own territory. Maybe Bo Henry to the right. In fact, that's the way it goes.
Well, after that last kick from Henry, they've gone to him again. It's hooking and raking across to David Williams. Manly's got the ball in good field position for the start of the set. Mullen strong in defence up the top. McDonald down below, played by Williams. This is Hopoate. And he takes it a couple of metres, in fact 5, into Newcastle's area. Running towards the southern end of Brookvale. And Watmo got a shoulder, then he was able to unload, and then Nullavow to Hopoate. Hopoate tries to push Mullen away, but he clings on. Brings him down on the 30-metre line. Played by William. Over it goes to Cherry Evans, then to King, and King through the dummy to Brent Kite. And injured in there, looks like Matt Hilda. Played back for Ballon. Ballon to Cherry Evans, and now to Glenn Stewart. Keep in mind, they're a man down here, Newcastle. David Williams has got his hand on the ball. Well, McManus has looked at him dejectedly, and Shane Hayne has pointed to the spot. The Wolfman has descended.
Well, it was a lovely kick, and we've had enough rain here to make turning and chasing very, very difficult. And James McManus, he's not the quickest winger, and David Williams timed his run from the Glenn Stewart kick. He looked up Stewart, saw the gap. McManus in a foot race, but David Williams around the outside was able to get his hands to the football. They missed him last week, Glenn Stewart. This is what he's capable of. He's like playing with a second 5/8, and the kick was a beauty.
He really hustled, didn't he? He absolutely flew down that right-hand touchline, and he's got every good reason to celebrate. There's another player that's coming back from a long time out of the game. A real popular figure here at Brookvale.
Something written on that right wristband. He wanted to show that to the cameraman. I'm not sure what it says. C-U-B-B-Y, Cubby.
Cubby.
So somebody might ask David exactly what that's all about.
I'd say it's a name for something. Or a mate, something.
Just a good friend of his, apparently.
Yeah, well, we'll get the story, obviously, some other time. But he showed real speed to get down that touchline and was able to get his hands on the ball.
5 from 5 for Daly Cherry Evans last weekend. 2 metres in from touch, and he's hooked it. No goal. And we'll take a break and come back. We're looking at 6-4 in favour of Newcastle. Sunday football from Brookvale Oval. It used to be known as the Fortress. Manly last year, though, I think they won only 50% of their games here at Brookvale, so they're out to turn it back into the Fortress if they can. There's Jason King met and pulled down over there. I think it's Big Houston who was first up with Tuamavave second up. Now it's for Nullavow. Joe is taken low by Hilda. Left side play for Kite. Short Watmo. Short then for Oldfield, who breaks into space. Houston's done remarkably well to make that tackle, I'll tell you. Here's Ballon, and it's almost free territory because the markers were non-existent. Played on the 40-metre line. Watmo's pass ordinary. Nullavow across. Glenn Stewart working hard right side. Here's Hopoate. Puts a ball back now for Williams. Williams comes to Patterson. Patterson pulls him down. So Manly quickly back onto the attack. And Cherry Evans puts a kick up high down to Hopoate. Well, he might have got a check and run there. Brett Stewart, he got involved. It'll be a penalty, yes, to Newcastle.
The contact.
It's against Brett.
Might not have been intentional, but your contact has stopped him having a go at it.
Yeah, the referee's exactly right. May not have been intentional, but he certainly knocked Hopoate out of the way before the ball had arrived. There he is trying to get to it. Walt Stewart ended up on the ground himself. He denied the opposing number 5 a fair catch.
Newcastle by 2. 6 points to 4 the score. Channel 9's Sunday football on the wide world of sports. Taking you to London for the 2012 Olympics. And Zeb Taia goes ahead, met by Watmo and King. And Taia plays it, and this is Kafusi. Seen a bit of territory, Antonio. He played a test match for Australia, if memory serves me correctly. Here's Tuamavave. Matt Hilda waiting. Well, Manly would love that. They would love Tuamavave taking all that time. And here's the ball going loose, and he's going to order a knock on, and there's high fives and backslapping going on for Manly.
Yeah, that was sloppy, wasn't it? That was very sloppy.
That's Vic Morrow in 17, about to go out.
Yeah, a little bit of tiredness just evident in the Newcastle team at the moment. No surprise to see a bit of activity on their bench as well, with Dan Toller up. It went through the hands of Nguama. Don't know if that would have been pulled up, but Hopoate made it easy for the referee.
Comment at this point in time from Andrew on the sideline.
Yeah, just had a close look here on the right side. Young Will Hopoate, son of John Hopoate. It's hard to believe he's still only 18. He's such a big boy for his age. Every time he's got the ball, he's really worried, Junior Sow. Watching him on this right side, combining with Glenn Stewart.
Here's Anthony Watmo looking for a hole. And Houston slow to get away. Ballon turned it in. Kiters with the ball. Stand up and deliver. On to Cherry Evans. Across to Glenn Stewart. Comes to Henry. Ball bounces for Hopoate. Hopoate off the right foot once, twice. Back to middle ground. Got the ball away. Nullavow is with it. He's taken over the top by Houston, underneath by Tuamavave. 30 metres out from the line. Cherry Evans goes to the blind side. Glenn Stewart turns it back to the open side. Now it's Kieran Foran who's with the ball. And Foran to play it.
Yeah, I thought, like the fans did, that there might have been a Newcastle touch there, but that's the last tackle. Again, the high kick, this time towards McManus.
Well, McManus was beaten in the jump, I think, by Hopoate, and it's come away with Jared Mullen. No, it's McDonald. And this is McManus. I've just got that little feeling that Hopoate actually got that ball and had it taken from him on the way down. 6-4 in favour of Newcastle. And Newcastle making changes with Kafusi off now. And Tola has gone on. That ball went behind him, and then Mullen floats it out. It comes down to Zeb Taia. He turns it across over to Ngama, and Ngama plays the ball 7 metres into Manly's area. National 9 News at 6. And Tola is hit hard.
We've actually got Brett Stewart out here in the right centre position as a knock-on, some heavy defence. Tola putting it down. Will Hopoate gone to fullback, and we've actually got Brett Stewart down on his knees on the 30-metre line.
They're actually winning the battle of the hitting, Manly, aren't they? You just get the feeling after a confident start from Newcastle that Manly are hitting their way back into this contest. Again, Kieran Foran led the way with a few good chases and a couple of body checks, but their forwards are... As Brett Stewart has gone down, might have got a little bit of a knee in the head or the back as he went up for that one. I'm not convinced he's 100% yet, Brett Stewart. Just watching him run and get around the paddock, he hasn't got the sleekness he had, and we remember a couple of years ago, which is only to be expected. But he's had terrible leg problems. I'm not sure he's back to his best as yet, nor should he be.
Here's Foran now going short to Watmo, who again looks at the gap and tries to go through it.
Yeah, he's close to getting through Anthony Watmo, although this is the problem in his game, is that play the ball infringements, he drops them, he loses control of them. He's looking very dangerous out there, and as he gets up,
Yeah, just here, mate.
he just doesn't play it properly.
Manly second rowers.
He's one of those guys, you just got to look at the body language. He's always hyped up. He doesn't take his time to do anything, really. I'm not knocking the bloke, but he gives that impression that he's always wanting to get there and get it done before anybody else, sort of thing.
Yeah, he's close to finding a hole out there.
Newcastle winning the scrum. And it's with the fullback McDonald in the side for Gidley, and that was a heavy tackle on McDonald. That's why he lost the ball. He's sick. He's in Disneyland at the moment. You could see the way they hit him. They put him in the sandwich. That hit there from Glenn Stewart.
Yeah, it's totally legal.
That was the end of him. He handled the first one, but not the second one.
Yeah.
6 o'clock news, 9's news will wrap up the elections, the bloodbath election. A current affair follows at 6:30 with Carl Stefanovic, the host. And at 7:30, of course, our flagship current affairs, 60 minutes.
Corey, just come back, mate, please. Just come back. Dan, just come back, mate, please.
You'd like your football team to win by as big a space as
Right.
the coalition did yesterday, wouldn't you?
So what are we doing
Well
there?
done, Barry O'Farrell. Wish you luck.
Well, this is shaping as a penalty for high contact.
What are you laughing?
You gotta be staying on, mate.
What are you doing now? Your political comment now,
He
eh?
follows the Tigers. He's a good bloke, for God's sake. She was a lovely lady, Christina.
You want to commentate about the election?
I'm not commentating on
No,
that.
no.
election. There was a bloke getting some smelling salts, and all I was doing
Well,
was
that's a scrum.
congratulating the Premier that might get the job. Or he will get the job.
So scrum here to Manly.
Yeah, Manly fans are cheering. They were fearing a penalty there, but there was nothing wrong with the tackle. It was just an accidental collision, but he come off a little bit the worse for wear, Shannon McDonald. But Manly get the ball, and this is where they're winning it at the moment with the hitting. They're behind on the scoreboard, but probably physically on top.
Joey, sideline.
Yeah, I was just wondering who Barry O'Farrell plays for.
Oh, shut up, will you? you're catching Gusitis, you are. Here's Foran. Now it's gone away to Brett Stewart. The Vaseline conspicuous on the back of the head there where he suffered a scalp wound.
I want to know who calls an election on Guinea's Day. That's all.
Here's Foran. Ballon then for Cherry Evans and a couple of dummies to forwards running inside lines. Here's Hopoate off Glenn Stewart, and then he backs him up, Glenn Stewart, and he's put down 20 metres away from the Newcastle line, and a bit of push and shove back there after the play the ball. And the 16 is George Rose. Big George is on, and now Morrow taken by Hilda. Newcastle just at the moment they're on their bicycle, backpedaling. Here's Foran behind one. It's gone Stewart, gone Robertson. Michael has scored. Beautiful. 132 consecutive games today. The three-try grand final hero bags another.
That was beautiful work. Really nice work. And the pass by Brett Stewart at the end of it is an absolute beauty. Watch the way he just straightens up and counts the numbers. He gets it. He's got 1, 2, 3 on 2 defenders. Comes in, drags them away from the sideline and gives his winger an open run down the edge. Beautiful play.
Now we saw him throw a pass similar to that against Melbourne in round 1. Their only try. And the man on his outside, Oldfield, did well also, just to play straight off him to keep his man interested. And that came off a mistake from Shannon McDonald. He lost the football first tackle. And Manly were good enough to capitalise with a very, very difficult conversion from the sideline.
You'd like to employ a few people like Michael Robertson, wouldn't you? 132 straight.
Yeah.
Just shows up for work all the time. Even when he's not supposed to work, he goes to work.
He can play any position. He fills in for anyone. They move him around, but he just plays his best. And that try there has come after 10 minutes of pretty intense physical assault by the Manly side. They were behind on the scoreboard, but physically they were winning the contest. And they've converted that dominance into points. Really good period for Manly, reminiscent of their second half last week, where they took it to the Roosters and got over the top of them.
Cherry Evans from the sideline on the eastern side of the ground. Looks good, looks good. It is very, very good. Try and convert it. Eagles in front, 10-6, 29 gone. Sunday football on 9. On a day that doesn't quite know what it wants to do, really. Showers come through, then blue sky appears. It's a high kick, and Watmo loses it behind him. And eventually he's collared down there by Nagama and Hopoate. One with a red stripe on his head and the other one with the iridescent orange boots. And now Matt Ballon is taking a little bit of the pressure away from Manly. That's Bura who's on. Jamie Bura. He'll play the ball 32 metres away from his own line. Ballon gives it. Morrow runs it. And he's on the 40-metre line. Held down there by Hilda and Tolar. Ball goes now off the boot of Cherry Evans down to Hopoate. Fielding away there at mid-wicket, and back he comes outside the 30-metre line. 3 tries he scored that day last year, all in the first half, and he put Manly to sleep before Oranges.
Yeah, that was round 21 last year, 21-14, and the reason that the Newcastle Knights haven't played here in so long is because those matches have been taken to Blue Tongue Stadium up on the Central Coast. McManus out of dummy half over halfway.
Play almost in the centre of the ground now. And Newcastle have had the lead up until a few seconds. Oh, swooped upon by Cherry Evans. Evans is away. Cherry Evans, that is. Henry chases him, and he loses the ball. Good work by Bo Henry. He persevered.
He certainly did. That was a great chase, because Cherry Evans picked it up on the fly. Henry had to turn, and he never gave up, and still then had to come up with a physical presence to force the ball loose. Now, There is some suggestion that perhaps Henry has ripped this ball out. Oh, I think he's just dropped it cold. That's not a kick, is it, Rabbits? You wouldn't give that a kick?
He's dropped.
You're not going to give this a key. He's dropped that, and that's not really a kick, is it, Rabbits? You can't count that.
Well, hang on a second before you get carried away.
I'm asking. I'm not getting carried away. I'm asking.
Well, give me a chance to answer with you. It happened up at Penrith Park a couple of years ago where a bloke did drop the ball and he kicked it with the portion of the leg below the knee. It was deemed to be a kick and a try ensued. So don't dismiss it lightly. I'm just telling you what's in the book.
Right.
The book that you won't read.
Right.
Des hasn't.
I didn't make a comment. I asked you.
Yeah, you're always asking me the tough questions. Read the book, please. Or can you read?
I don't have to. I don't have to.
There's Terry Evans. He swooped in like an eagle hawk. And Bo Henry chased him down like a scene out of The Fugitive.
There again, it came from some poor Newcastle play. Up the other end, a pass went astray, and they're struggling out there at the moment. The Knights, they look tired. They're getting physically manhandled, and they've now gone behind on the scoreboard. So they need to lift this last 10 minutes into half-time.
That's Fayoso who's out there now. Manly moved up and hit him hard. This defence is reminiscent. Oh, Tola, he's got it round the head from Watmo.
Yeah.
Newcastle, they go in to aid their teammate.
Well, funny enough, that might be just what Newcastle need. You get a whack like that, get all the players intense.
Yeah.
Ben, whistle goes. Just leave it.
All right, well, Newcastle get a penalty here. Let's have a look at the first hit up. Who takes it and what do they do to him? Because there's been a fair bit of slather and whack in there, and the Knights players have finally stood their ground and said, OK, enough's enough, and have reacted. Who takes the first one? Get ready.
Fayoso.
Get ready.
OK, here it is. Fayoso, Glenn Stewart and Vic Morrow. And a penalty.
Good run. And he pumps the fist too. Look at that. Richie Fayoso said, I'm taking the first one. He barrels a couple out of the way, wins the penalty, and then shakes the fist and says, get that into you. There, bang, bang, down he goes. Up he gets. They can't get him. And now he'll give him the sign, get that into you.
Oh, no, Mullen hasn't found touch. David Williams has done a great job to keep it in.
Williams across the ground, diagonally. Got it out to the 30-metre line. The Manly fans ecstatic as the Wolfman makes another contribution, then sinks to the ground. George Rose. Now we've got a bit of fire and brimstone in it. Here's Watmo, Dan Tola. Doesn't surprise me that he's looking for him. On the halfway line, Ballon, Bura taken down the middle by Fayoso. To the 40-metre line, Ballon, short across for Cherry Evans. He steps off his right foot and taken by Tola. And Serraldo is out there, Cameron Serraldo. Manly with Foran, putting it down to McManus. And McManus beats Foran, and then he's taken down 15 out from his line.
That was a shame Mullen didn't find touch there, because he really let Fayoso down, didn't he? Fayoso came up with a big run on the penalty. Mullen was entitled to kick that out so they could get on a roll, and David Williams pulled his pants down there. It stopped the momentum.
Ben Rogers, that is, in 14, who's out there now, and Mullen
40-20 attempt.
And he might get it back.
And it's going to straighten up. It's going to sit down now. Robertson on his 10. He's got Nagama. But he's beaten Nagama. Gone over to Brett Stewart, and he's taken down inside the 20-metre line by Serraldo and Mullen. Serraldo, he's a big, tall young fella. Played quickly. Robertson, played by Oldfield it was. He's really only had one opportunity, Michael, and he broke into open space. Oldfield I'm talking about, not Robertson. Played by Bureau, Ballon, Watmo, Rose, taken, got it out the back, and it's accepted legally by Patterson. So, played by Corey Patterson, and now it's out to Junior Sau. With due respects, he hasn't seen much football. What he has seen a lot of, here's a penalty, is William Hopoate causing him trouble.
You bet your life that Jared Mullen will find touch this time. And David Williams in all sorts of trouble on the right wing for Manly. He got through the second half last week under duress against the Roosters. Well, he's struggling out there again at the moment as Serraldo takes it off Rogers inside the 20. Or just shy. No, now he sort of gets on the line.
Bo Henry it was that took the kick for line. And he's lost the ball, Cameron Serraldo. Oh, my goodness.
Can I just ask Andrew Johns a question about the weather down there? I mean, we're quite comfortable up here, but down there it looks a little steamy. There's some fatigue and some sweat.
There's been some light showers, Gus, on and off, but the ground down here is quite boggy. It looks like it really holds the water. It's been known in the past that teams have turned up here and it's been quite wet, even though when it's dry. I don't know if Desi's been out here with a sprinkler or not.
Manly winning the scrum, getting a penalty. You know why? Because Newcastle didn't remain bound until the ball had made its exit. Here's a kick for line that is long, and it's found the line, 25. Well, he's marked it at 30, but he's dead set robbed them for 2 or 3 metres. Big kick, Cherry Evans. So here they go. Glenn Stewart.
Well, it was a quick kick and a quick restart, and there's more urgency in Manly at the moment.
Ballon, Foran behind Rose, Bureau picked up and put down by Nagama. Now Ballon, now Morrow, inside 20, middle ground, centre of the ground. And Ben Rogers making the tackle with Fioso. Here's Foran, thinks there's something on the blind side. 8 metres out from the line. Sunday football on 9. Played back again for Matt Ballon, puts depth into it. Cherry Evans, Morrow, run around, Cherry Evans. Then it's with Brett Stewart. He looks, he gives it inside for Hopoate. And Hopoate driving. They'll hold him up, will they? Does he get it down? Referee's looking at it, he's going to give it. He's going to give Hopoate a try, is he? No, he's looking up for video assistance.
Oh, he had the whistle to the mouth.
Did he? What? I thought he was going to point to the spot.
Well, win, lose or draw, this kid Hopoate has stamped himself as a player and a young player of immense talent. Some of the things he's done today have been tremendous, but he had no reason to score this try if in fact he's done it. What's the surge here from the young man with players hanging all over him?
He gets some help from his own players as well, and they're the ones I've looked at when he's got the football down. Williams comes in, and the players to his left, you can see Matt Ballon, he's pointing to the referee that the ball has hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think on the line.
Yep.
That might be more the question. Was it short?
Yeah, is that...
That's there.
It's come on the point. Well, you don't know from that shot, Phil. Just watch it again for me, please.
So he goes back over his shoulder.
That's a try.
Well, has it got some chalk? That's all I'm asking.
Well, obviously it has. I think it's a try.
Okay. Paul Simpkins, the video referee. And he gives the try. Well done, William Hopoate. Brilliant. Got a try last weekend. He's done it again today. And you're right. He's big and strong and never say die. I just finished talking about Junior Sau and his personal duel with him today. This kid leads by a big margin on points, doesn't he?
Yeah. There's Brett Stewart again. Now, he's nowhere near as sleek as he used to be, but he still commands attention. And he brings the player back on the inside of Hopoate, who now just surge, drive, twist, plants it down. Special players score tries like that. I think he's special. I think he's special.
Cherry Evans then. You'll get Bruce's mantle if you keep that up. It's Cherry Evans. 10 in from touch, 20 out. Close to the break. And he gets the goal. So Hopoate's try has a converted try. Andrew John sideline.
Yeah, all power, Rabs. What an athlete this young guy is. You see he gets the ball. There's nothing doing here. A little bit of space, but props. Look at this for power. Look at him pumping the legs, carrying 2 and 3. Twists over the line. What a future.
And a rut there to David Williams also. He mentioned earlier he was struggling. Well, he came in there and he gave the final surge, which got him close enough and in a position to put it down. Oh, it's gone. Oh, there's a knock on
Well, there's a
there.
mistake in goal. This will be a line dropout for Manly. Well, Watmo's made a mistake, and then poor old Morrow, he's tried to get the deflection off Watmo, and he's made a mess of it as well. Have a look at it again.
He didn't know if that was going to clear the crossbar or not. It balked him.
Well, that's the second time a high ball has troubled Watmo.
He's having a giggle anyway.
Twice shy.
William Hopoate, I saw him play for New South Wales, I think, in about the under-17s a few years ago, and I've never seen a more dominant performance from a young fullback. That was his position at that time.
Here's Fayoso, and we'll just get this set of 6 in before the break. Mullen goes short to Serraldo. He'll be thinking ball security, ball security. And Rogers in the 14 goes away to the right side, and Tola ran a nice decoy off the ball, and then it was Uate coming back for Rogers to go again to the right side for Mullen to find Tola. And Dan will play the ball with about 45 seconds before the halftime siren. Henry across to Big Patterson. He puts it out the back. Knock on Junior Sow. Knock on by Junior Sow. The scrum will pack.
And this Manly defence is totally frustrating Newcastle now. Newcastle began with all the confidence in the world and came up with the first try. Just simply rolled through their plays, and you thought, gee whiz, you know, this is a team that really believes in itself. But since about the 10-minute mark, Manly have upped the ante with the hitting and the tackles, and Newcastle haven't responded all that well to it. They've come up with some errors. Can't quite get their game on.
Look at this crowd out on the hill.
Brilliant.
They're 5 and 6 deep on the hill. I mean, Sunday football, and I'm talking about we're on a suburban ground near the beaches, bit of rain about, and it's a healthy crowd. They're playing an out of town team. It's a good crowd. It's another vote of approval for Sunday football. 16 plays 6. Manly 16, Newcastle 6. Eagles 3 tries. Williams, Robertson, Hopoate, Taia for Newcastle as we break and come back in just a moment. Bo Henry will start the second half. And Newcastle looking at a scoreboard that says they're 10 behind. Jason King takes the first run of the second half as Manly come away from the grandstand, which is named in memory of the the only two players to have scored more than 100 tries, Bob Fulton and Steve Menzies. And Brett Stewart needs 2 to level them, should I say, to level the 100.
And Ray arrived at the ground at the same time as the great Malcolm Reilly. And the teams out there competing for the Mal Reilly Trophy or Cup this afternoon. The greatest imports that our game has ever seen.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, we might have a bloke down here behind us.
That's Nguama back at fullback. So
And oh gee, there's a problem here for Bo Henry.
Keep coming, Anthony. Good now.
And the kid, he's only in his, what's he in his 3rd game, and here's a...
well, despite the fact it's a long way from where the play is taking place, there's plenty of concern. In fact, the Manly players are pointing at him, and you can tell from the reaction of Bo Henry, he's in all sorts of trouble. I hate to say it, but it's almost reminiscent of how Chris Lawrence looked last night.
He's obviously landed very awkwardly there.
Well, it doesn't look good for young Bo Henry. It's obviously down around the ankle, the lower leg area, for a young man who was playing his 3rd top-grade game and doing very, very well. Tries in the 2 games that he's played, and a magnificent stop of a try in the first half here today. So he's not going to take any further part in the match. Peter?
We'll get a report from Andrew Johns, but Shannon McDonald didn't start this second half. That's why Wes Nguama is back at fullback as Tola gets through, but nice intercept there from Kieran Foran. So they may well be finishing this game with 15 players, with just the starting front rowers on the bench at the moment.
George Rose rumbling the ball up the ground. And now here's Jason King talking about big men. Rose, then King. Played on the halfway line. Ballon for Stewart. Inside ball for Brother. And Brett Stewart is taken, and
Glenn's been put on his back and players stopped because of that.
Yeah, he copped one after he passed the ball back inside, which I thought was legitimate. And he's bounced up now. And we're going to have someone called out.
no, I think it's a blood bin. Oh, it's not a blood bin, but I think he's told somebody to go behind Jason King, is it, to get cleaned up?
Yeah, now we've got a penalty here. He's saying that he tackled Glenn Stewart without the ball. I don't know how long after Glenn Stewart unloaded the ball he hit him.
Let's go, mate.
It looked okay to me.
Yep, on there.
Oh, yeah, it's
Corey Patterson it was, the 15.
nothing in that. Not in my rule book anyway.
No, I understand that. It's not in your rule book. Here's Hopoate over to Cherry Evans, now for Anthony Watmo. And Watmo will play the ball. He's right in the middle of the park. Right in front of the scoreboard, you might say. They go away for Cherry Evans to go on to Hopoate, a big left-hand fend. He has scored another one. Yep. Brute strength from William Hopoate.
Wow.
Left-hand fend. Wow.
Wow's right.
Well, they're in all sorts of trouble now, Newcastle. I don't rate them as good chasers. They're excellent when they're leading, but the big fend into the chest of Junior Sau, we saw him do that in round one to Penrith. Well, he's got the handprint on his own chest now from Hopoate, who gets the ball over the top and slams it down for his second. Well, we've got another Newcastle player leaving the field. Looks like Ben Rogers. And from that shot there, he won't be back. Getting very, very skinny.
It's an expensive afternoon at Brookvale.
25 metres out from near the touchline, but it's wide. So how do you feel, Andrew? Do you think you might be able to put a jumper on?
No, unfortunately, Rob. They give it by 60 if that was the case. Just the injury reports. You see there, Shannon McDonald, Sterlo was speaking about him earlier. He's concussed. He won't be back. Bo Henry's obviously gone for the game. And now, unfortunately, you see Ben Rogers. He went off there with some sort of arm complaint. So they're down to the bare minimum. The Knights really up against it.
Their opening 2 rounds, I mean, they were very impressive in beating the Panthers, but that form has taken a little bit of a battering, and they beat the Cowboys pretty comprehensively last week, but one has to question whether or not the defence was solid enough. Today they've come up. Oh, no.
Dantola.
Oh, no. How many warnings do players need? Anyway, they've come up against some stiff defence this afternoon, and they haven't handled it all that well. Let's have a look. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Well, you don't give the referee a chance.
Well, they should be 2 metres behind the line.
Exactly, at speed, and you just time your run. It's not difficult.
Lazy.
Jason King playing the ball 30 metres out from the line. Kieran Foran goes away to George Rose and he does well. Foran, did it touch the ground? Yes, Shane Haynes said it did. So it's a knock-on against Foran. Rose did magnificently. Watch the big fella. That had a little stamp of Beatson on it, didn't it? Well, maybe you younger people wouldn't remember, but that had a stamp of Arthur on it. The great man, one of the immortals. And Newcastle will get the ball from this. Loose head and feed. Mullen to put it in. Watch this, watch this where it goes. There it goes, down there between the legs of the prop. Penalty goes to Manly. Well, he's put on a scrum penalty. It's a differential penalty. Do you remember that?
Ah, lovely. It was a low scrum feed, though.
Well done, Shane Hayne. Well done,
That
Shane
was.
Hay.
Have a look at this scrum feed. I think it misses the scrum.
What did he get penalised for?
Incorrect feed, I'd imagine.
Well, here's the ball coming away to Oldfield. And Oldfield will play the ball 5 metres out from the line. It goes over now for Foran, who loses his footing. He's just inside the 10. Now it's gone away from Cherry Evans to Stewart, who shows it. It bounces, intercept for McManus over there. So now from Houston, it's come with Junior Sau. 25 metres out from his line. And now for Dan Tolar, and coming up out of the line is Watmo, and he embraces him, and it's a penalty. He's ruled that it was high. He's ruled that it was above the shoulder.
And that's Cameron Ciraldo with a shoulder problem. Just slow up. As Jared Mullen finds touch 42 out from his own line. He's a man who came back from an awful injury, Cameron Ciraldo, last year from the previous season. Fingers crossed it's nothing serious as he hangs his arm out into the left side of their attack.
Play by Fayoso. Here's Kufusi. And it's a forward pass. So we'll take a break on Sunday football. 20-6 the score. So Manly winning the scrum. Penalty for breaking early against Newcastle. They're not staying bound. That's what he's ruling there. And when they wave the arm, it's a differential. I think I said it last week. Please stop coaching. Start giving differential penalties.
Well, they listen to you, Rabbits. You're the voice. As soon as you said it, they've done it.
Don't embarrass me with that sort of stuff, please.
Well, it's true. You asked for it, and they did it.
Watmo plays the ball. Here's Cherry Evans, back now for Stewart.
And that's Junior Sau playing 5'8". Cameron Ciraldo is left centre. Zeb Taia is right centre.
Cherry Evans, King, deep for 4 and quick for Bura. Bura to Stewart, looking for 99. Oh, he's put down by Fayoso. And now for Ballon. Ballon puts a little kick in. It came off a Newcastle player. Dived on by Fayoso.
Yeah, I don't think Des Hazard will be impressed. I know that you spoke about George Rose, the offload. I don't think they need that. I don't think they need kicks from Matt Ballon. If they get through their sets, they rack up a big scoreline against Newcastle this afternoon. They just have to be patient to do so, Manly.
So away goes Zeb Taia with the ball now. And Matt Hilder threw a dummy to McManus, and McManus sort of looked at him and said, "Would I come in and run? I think I come in here to run a decoy. Give me the football." Anyway, here's a kick down the ground, and it's gone down to Michael Robertson. And here comes Robbo. And he's met by Uate. He's on the ground. Taia comes in late. And this is Oldfield. Oh, Fayoso.
Dear, oh dear.
He took a knock, Richard, and he doesn't know where he is, Richard.
He's all over the place, poor kid.
Poor kid, he's
Dear, oh dear.
trying desperately to get some feeling back in his legs.
Dear, oh dear. He's
Richard
so courageous. Desperately trying to get up. Look at him. I'm right. If he was anything but right, he goes down. He'll get up, and he'll head off in the wrong direction. And then he'll go down again. And up he gets, and goes again. And that went on for a good 45 seconds.
And the whole time he's trying to get back to help his teammates by getting in the defensive line again.
Yep. Inspirational stuff.
I think the trainer's trying to get him to come off. And that's the end of the bench.
Yep.
Richard Fayoso, he accidentally has taken a heavy knock to the head.
He's a lovely kid, Richard. He's the sort of kid.
He's got back on.
He's got to go back on.
Well, they can't because it's a scrum. You can't interchange, I don't think, at a scrum, is it?
Well,
no, that's
surely discretion. You
find.
can't send the man back out there in a concussed state.
That doesn't.
How ridiculous!
There's no common sense in that.
None.
Ball in now. That's
Well,
better. Ball in
there's
now. Much better.
something for David Gallup to look at immediately. That should not be allowed to happen.
Now
Here's
he's got to come
McManus. And McManus, it's gone out to Junior. Forward again.
From dummy half.
Now he was coming off. Now he's going back on again.
It's another scrum.
It's another scrum.
Oh,
You
you're
can't
kidding.
do interchanges at scrums, even though there's a fellow that obviously shouldn't be out there.
You're kidding me.
After this, I want that tape
You
up,
are
okay?
kidding. He's got to go
No,
back
I don't
out there
care. I want
again.
that tape up.
Yeah.
That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd.
Okay, the next break in play.
My God.
Enough time, guys. Heads down. Ball
It's,
heads down. Stay there, Cameron. Ball in.
It's a heavy word, but it's inhumane.
Cameron.
And a penalty goes to Manly. He's got Newcastle again, I fancy, for
You've got to stay, Cameron.
breaking early again, not binding.
Well, he's in strife, Cameron Ciraldo, in the far centre position too. He's carried the shoulder for the last 10 minutes. He's now moved out on the wing. They are going to run out of players, the Newcastle Knights.
So here's Cherry Evans for Jason King. 20 points to 6. 16-6 at the half-time break. And Newcastle with 13 players left and 2 of them out there that really shouldn't be there. Talk about brave. Glenn Stewart tackled on the 20-metre line for Ballon to find Foran, to give it now to Nullival. Well, you'd think if Brett Stewart is ever going to make the 100, these are ideal conditions for him. Foran, he's really hit hard there by Kafusi, and Taia didn't miss him either. Now, last tackle, Ballon for Cherry Evans, puts a kick in. Ciraldo with this arm that's gone. He'll look for the ground. He does. Glenn Stewart tackles him. And Ciraldo gets up gingerly. That right arm, it's of no use to him, really. And Junior Sau.
Hey, Jason, just walk away, mate.
Fayosa's going back out again.
Why can't they get him off?
I don't think he wants to come off. Chumavave has been on the sideline for, well, ever since he first
Well,
the ground.
what they're doing is they're wondering whether or not this player can play on, so they don't want to replace Fayoso if they have to replace him, Ciraldo. So that's how badly they are in the wars at the moment. We're going through a very scrappy period of the game. We've seen no football, I reckon, for about the last 10 minutes.
He's off now, Richie, and Ivan Chumavave on. The other front rower takes it forward in Kalfusi, and we've got Cameron Ciraldo. No, he was heading this way, now he's back out.
It's Jared Mullen, and now Houston taken by Cherry Evans and Hopoate. Nullival involved in the tackle. And here's Nagama. One-handed pickup from Hilda, and then he shows it and goes away to Mullen, and Mullen fires the ball out to Taia. Now Uate, and he's taken by Foran and down low by Oldfield. Taia dummy half, Mullen with the football, left foot kick in towards the goal mouth, and taken by Glenn Stewart. Ball is loose. Newcastle dive on the ball, and he's going to have a look at it. Well, Glenn Stewart has headbutted the upright pad. Thankfully, it's padded. And then it's come loose from his grasp. What's happened after that, I'm not sure.
Well, there was another Manly player in behind him, and 2 Newcastle players. Chris Houston has actually ended up with the football. The kick was a nice one. Jamie Sau would like that, just a little one for his outside chases. Stewart loses the football there. It's taken out of the grasp of Cherry Evans, but you'd think there's a Newcastle knock-on in there somewhere.
Gee, I'm also thinking about the tackle on Stewart, because he was in the air and there seemed to be an arm draped around his neck area, whether that might come into the equation.
There's knock-on galores from
They've
Newcastle.
all dropped it.
No try is the ruling. And a knock on. In goal, he's pointing out to the 20-metre line.
Well, come on, boys. We want to see some football. The last 15 minutes has been very scrappy. This game was building up to something nice, but... Oh, dear.
Sorry, mate.
False start.
Yeah, we've got to be on that.
So Watmo, 25 out from his line for Ballon. This is Kite. And Brent Kite just inside the 40-metre line. Play it back for Matt Ballon. And now for Joe Nollivow. Newcastle, as I said earlier, bravely and courageously, they're getting through it. Here's Bura making a good contribution down the middle. 8 metres into Newcastle's area. It's still only 20 points to 6. Given all of the mishaps that's happened for Newcastle. And now the kick is high. Very, very high. Oh, good take from McManus. Plays it out on his 10-metre line. Junior Sau goes to Wes Ngama. Results of those earlier games, Gus.
Yeah, the Bulldogs too strong for the Roosters, 24-20. And over in New Zealand, the Dragons 25-12 over the Warriors. Held an 18-0 lead at half-time and just grafted away as they do.
Chiomavave on the 30-metre line. Plays it for Hilda. Short for Kafusi. Newcastle, just repeating, if you've just joined us, they've had an injury-riddled day. They started without Kurt Gidley. Senior players unable to play through injury. And now they're down to 13 men in their game against Manly, and they're down 26 on the scoreboard. Brent Kite, hard, up to the halfway. And it's Richie Fayosa, who was out cold, who was somewhere else. He's back on the bike there. Here's Brent Kite getting it inside the 40-metre line, thrusting it down, Ballon away. Watmo comes back towards the traffic, and he's picked off and driven into the ground by Zeb Taia. And here's Foran down the left side. Oldfield beat one, and hanging on was Patterson. Last tackle Manly, and the ball is with Cherry Evans. A grubber kick fielded by Ngama. He might be forced in goal. No, he's found the ground and plays it just out from his own line.
He did very well, Wes Ngama. Good position there for the fullback coming across, and then he was able to shrug off Glenn Stewart, who had a pretty good shot on him, trying to force him back into the in-goal.
McManus now. That's Chiomavave. 22 metres out from the line. And Hilda finding Mullen. Mullen fending away from Glenn Stewart and then spinning and looking to get the ball back for another phase. The ball finishes up then going to Hilda, and he drives it down to the 20-metre line. And Brett Stewart brings it back beyond the 30.
Push up now, stand out there, heal the hole. Lock in.
Tolar, the main tackler.
Just stay with this one.
Hopoate taken down by Houston. 20 from 29 completions for the Eagles.
Oh, great ball, Brent Kite nearly put David Williams away, looking for a quick play the ball and gets it.
Hopoate then scampers from dummy half, and the ball goes loosely for Bura. Then he gets it away. This is Oldfield. Oldfield puts on a sprint, gives it to Robertson, running an inside line. Robertson looking to unload. No, he's put to ground. Held down by Mullen. Ballon, Foran for Oldfield. Oldfield taken 10 metres out from the line. Wrestled down by Ngama and Hopoate. The last in to Foran, puts a neat little kick in. The bounce is interesting. It's taken by McManus. He makes it dead. And a line drop out when we come back. Back at Brookvale for the line drop out. And it's gone 50 metres on the fly to Cherry Evans. And Joe Nollivow takes it back. It's a good carry by Nollivow back inside the 30-metre line. Ballon for Kite this time. And pulled down by Tolar and Houston. You would have thought they'd be looking for the edges if they can. And here's Brent Stewart. Was there an obstruction? David Williams scores. I'm wondering whether he'll go upstairs. Yes, he's going upstairs. David Williams has scored for Manly at the moment.
It looked a bit messy, didn't it, on first look? It looked a bit messy. It was a play gone wrong. But they've got the try, and now we have to see if they take it off them. Let's have a look. Yeah, Stewart actually runs behind his man. Hopoate gets in his way.
No try.
That's fair enough.
So he will come out and give a penalty to Newcastle.
That's fair enough, because there was a play gone wrong. They just got muddled up there who was going to receive the ball, and you can't run behind your teammate like that. So good decision by our video referee, Paul Simpkins.
Joe, Andrew, I should say, what's the story injury-wise now?
Oh, there's a few rabs. Shannon McDonald, he's got concussion. He's gone for the game. Bo Henry, he's got a possible fracture to his lower leg. And Ben Rogers has got a dislocated shoulder. The doctor's in the sheds trying to get it back in. If you can't get it in, they're going to call an ambulance. And Richard Faso, he's got concussion, but he's still on the bench.
Gee.
Well, he's just picked up an interchange card, Richie Faoso. He thinks he's coming back.
Hilda pulled down by Watmo. And they're on the halfway line as Mullen goes to them. Houston has stepped out of a tackle. And Brett Stewart and Anthony Watmo hang on. 20 metres away from the Manly line. They won't go away, Newcastle. And here's Patterson. And he showed it to Uwade. Takes them on. Throws the ball in field. And it will be a Manly feed to a scrum 10 metres out from the line.
Will be a lot of work for them. Corey Patterson, who was brought into the run-on side. Chris Houston's been tremendous. But now with back rowers playing out in the centre positions, they'll have to do plenty of work in the middle of the ruck as well as on the fringes. That's Serraldo. He won't be able to bind properly.
Let's go. Do yourselves a favour.
Crowd over on the hill now, basking in the sunshine. It's been a weird old day.
That's it.
Here's Bura. Friday night football coming up. Again, the Eagles. And the match goes to Gosford. It's a Rabbitohs home game against the Eagles at Blue Tongue, Gosford. And that's the New South Wales match. The Queensland matches. Broncos play Panthers. Broncos at Suncorp against Panthers. That's the Queensland match. And then we'll flip the coin over and show them to you on delay, the one that you're not getting live. This is Cherry Evans on his own 40-metre line. Here's Ballon in for Nullivar. Kick down the ground from Ballon. Taken on the foot by Nagama.
The crowd's gone to sleep a little bit, hasn't it? And I'm a little bit nonplussed here. There hasn't been all that much football in the second half. We've had some injuries and some incidents, but no real football. It's leaving me a little bit cold. Maybe Manly can finish off a bit better.
Taia. And Uwade might go for a scamper. He does. And he runs at Kieran Foran. And Aquila playing the ball. Almost on the 40-metre line. Manly's into the ground. And here's Mullen. Mullen showed it and then tried to sprint between Kite and Nullivar. And Joe Nullivar is not well. A little kick by Matt Hilda now, but it'll be clean by Robertson. And it goes dead in front of him anyway. So back to the 20 for the restart. Manly not necessarily keen to grab the advantage of a quick 20-metre restart.
Well, it's taking its toll, this game. We've got Joe Nullivar leaving the field now. Zeb Taia limping. William Hopoate with a shoulder problem. A round of applause for the nuggety back rower.
There's no one on the Newcastle bench. I just get the feeling with Manly, their second half last week was so physical, it would have taken a lot out of them. And their first half today was extremely physical. I'm just wondering if they're not coasting their way to a comfortable win. They feel like they've got Newcastle's measure. And Newcastle with no bench, I mean, it'd be a great job if they can mount a comeback from here. Still plenty of time for both sides.
Here's Oldfield to the halfway line, Andrew John sideline.
Yeah, bad to worse for the Knights. Cameron Serraldo, he's got a torn pec. He's gone for the game. I'm watching Zeb Taia in front of me. He can hardly run. So this is a disaster for the Knights.
And here's Foran chipping over the top. Robertson and Uwade a race for the ball. Robertson, no, I don't think he got there in time.
No, it's out.
He was competitive though, wasn't he? Look at the way he brushes past Hopoate to get first grab at it. And that's no easy task. Uwade's a strong and fast man.
It's no try, but the tactic wasn't bad.
Look at the poor old Knights. They're gone. They're walking around saying, please blows the hooter. It'll be a miracle if they can muster the energy to get back on the scoreboard here and make a game of this.
Fayoso took that ball up, so Richie Fayoso is back on the park. Tuamavave about to play it. And that's Patterson turning it in for Sau. Joey Johns used, I think, the right word. This is a disaster for Newcastle. Terrible, terrible day for them. Mullen's pass long, and it's found Zeb Taia, and Robertson spun him around. And Nagama now with the ball. Where's Nagama? On the 40-metre line. 5 tackles gone. Hilda to Mullen. Ballon, a half-hearted charge down attempt. The high ball. Stewart right underneath it, and Uwade wraps him up with Taia. 15 out from his line. And Brett Stewart and Zeb Taia pushing it. Oldfield is away. He's getting down into the backfield. Mullen after him now, and he takes him down and throws him at the sideline. He's into touch. Brilliant effort by Jared Mullen. We'll take a break and come. Scrum packing on the Newcastle 20-metre line, but Newcastle will have the feed for Jared Mullen. It was a wonderful performance by Jared to round up a much bigger Michael Oldfield. Not only round him up, but put him into touch. Ben Rogers, I told you, or Joey told you, he's got a dislocated shoulder, and they couldn't get it there and knock on. I think that's Fayoso, is it?
I think we can all understand that.
Yeah.
His eyes would be glazed over at the moment. He doesn't know where he is. And he's only out there because his team's got no more replacements.
Ben Rogers, I'm told the ambulance is in fact out the back of the grandstand, and they're going to take him to hospital to, I would imagine, give him an anaesthetic to put it back in. Today, our good mates at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, have put their hand up for the Man of the Match award. And at the end of today's game, we'll have the $1,000 KFC So Good Man of the Match. Well done, KFC, Kentucky Fried. Nice to have you on board again.
I love their fillets.
Here's William. You look like you like any fillet.
I love the KFC fillets. And their chips.
Here's Glenn Stewart now. 20 metres out from the Newcastle line. And here is Foran back. Here's Brett. He's got the ball to Michael Robertson, and Uwade said, there's the sideline, Robbo. That's where you're going.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago, Brett Stewart might have dummied and gone straight through here. It's a sort of sweeping run he was famous for. He comes around. He's at pace, and he just decides to let it go. But maybe in a few more months, we'll see the real Brett Stewart coming back. It's been a long break for him.
You know, one of the stats that surprises me here today, the penalty count is 8-7. Knights 8, Manly 7. I've just got this vivid memory of all of these differential penalties that have been given by Newcastle in front of the kick, all that sort of stuff. I would have thought Newcastle had far exceeded Manly for penalties, but it's 8-7 Newcastle.
Andrew Johnson, I'm just wondering if we look at Newcastle working out of their own end. They've lost 2 5/8s this afternoon, looked like for extended periods in Ben Rogers and Bo Henry. Might that force their hand with Kurt Gidley coming back to look at him in the halves?
Yeah, might, Sterlo. Although they've got a young guy in the 20s called Tyrone Roberts who's been playing sensational football, but I don't think he's ready. I don't know. It's a tough one for Rick Starn.
Here's Mullen. Oh, that's good work, Anthony Watmo. You might have put a couple down the big high punt kicks, but you were awake to that little play from Jared Mullen. Well done to the Manly number 11.
Well, he's had 22 tackles and 15 hit-ups, Anthony Watmo, easily the hardest worker in his side.
You've got to stand up with the football and play it. Michael Oldfield has been penalised.
He tried to give it to you and hit his player. Please.
And there's the ambulance arriving to take Ben Rogers off to have that dislocated shoulder put back in place. Chris Lawrence last night, he I think would have had the same thing. He would have had a general to get his dislocated hip put back in. As it goes across to the middle of the ground for Dan Toller, and Watmo comes in driving, and See You is out there as well, and so King got involved in the tackle, played by Toller. To the right side for Jarrett, and Bura makes the tackle. Jamie Bura making the tackle. Here's Hilda. It's gone across for Zeb Taia. That's a try. That's a try for Zeb Taia. This referee keeps putting the whistle up to his mouth. You'd swear blind he's going to blow it and point to the spot, and then all of a sudden he gives you a heart attack. But this time he has pointed to the spot.
Well, it's brave stuff from the Newcastle Knights. Now, there's no doubt Manly have coasted. They know that they believe they've had this wrapped up. They just want to be a little bit careful that they don't allow the Newcastle Knights right back into this with 8 to go. But a cut-out pass there to Zeb Taia, who's out in the centres, is able to get the football down. Soft defence from the Manly team. And a whiff of hope for Newcastle with a little bit of time left.
Second try of the day for this big fella, Zeb Taia. He's been good, you know. I mean, they've got the remnants of a football team out there at the moment, but this bloke, he's been very good. Zeb Taia. This is Wes Nagama now. He's kicking at 91%. He's about 6 metres in from the western touchline to bring them to 12, and he's done that. So Nagama converts the second of the Zeb Taia tries. It's 20-12 with 7 minutes to go, Andrew.
It's just been a performance of all character for the Newcastle Knights, considering they've played the second half with only 13 men with all the injuries. And to be still in the game with 7 minutes to go, I'm sure their coach will be very proud of them.
On the other hand, you've got to be a little concerned about Manly's attitude in the second half. It's been a very, very scrappy second half affair. Manly really haven't asserted their authority, and they need to finish this last 6 minutes off strongly just to put the icing on the cake.
Cherry Evans kicking off, and this is big Kafusi coming back, and Bura went bouncing away. Morrow was the chief tackler. This is Houston.
Well, if they conjure something remarkable in the next couple of minutes to put another try on the board, Newcastle, all of a sudden we could have a finish that no one was envisaging.
This is Fayoso.
Well, they certainly haven't turned it up, have they? I mean, Jared Mullen's chased down, and fellas getting out there injured and hitting the ball up. They've certainly battled on. They've shown the warrior spirit.
And Mullen working and working and working, refusing to give up.
Well, you'd be trying to get the ball to Hopoate. He's the man that can do something special with his speed. It's the last tackle now. We're looking for some result here with Corey Patterson coming Hopoate's way.
And he puts it down, grubbing along the ground for Brett Stewart to be tackled back on his own 20-metre line. Following the news at 6, which of course will have a full election wrap. There'll be a current affair at 6:30. the Sunday night version of A Current Affair with Carl Stefanovic, and then 60 Minutes following that at 7:30.
Manly very bunched coming out of trouble here. They've not really looking to move the ball all that much at all. Tackle 5.
Sherry Evans driving it, and it's going into the in goal, and it'll go dead for James McManus. Well, that'd be Bo Henry. A suspected break in the lower leg. Ben Rogers, dislocated shoulder. Cameron Cirildo, a pec.
Looks as though Bo Henry says, well, you've got the ambulance.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
I'll get a lift.
Hopoate. And this is Tola. Right on the halfway line. Down now to 4.5 minutes as Junior Sau is tackled. And now Hilda from Fayoso back to Mullen. Mullen shows it. Foran's got him. He's carrying Foran on his back, and eventually he's put down. Gee, I tell you what, it's been an outstanding performance by Mullen. He's lost this ball. It's probably an inappropriate time to be wrapping the kid, but he has tried his guts out.
Yeah, you're right there. He has. He's been impressive in the first 2 weekends. Today's a tough day at the office because his team's got so many injuries, and Manly sort of beat them into submission in the first half. But he's battled on, and it's a part of his game that I'm sure he's trying to work on.
I reckon he's also feeling that sternum as well. He left the field 10 minutes from full time last week, and when he made the try-saving tackle earlier, he was actually slotting into the second line of defence because he was in discomfort as Oldfield kicks.
Oh, he's picked it. They picked David Williams up beautifully. David Williams goes all the way. Try number 2 for the Wolfman, but what a kick from Oldfield. The perfect bounce for Williams.
Yeah, he looked inside. A lot of tired defenders there, and David Williams, who I mentioned in the first half, well, he was having problems. Well, he's got his second of the afternoon. It's a bit brave kicking from a scrum win, but Oldfield, he looks, he sees what's going on. In fact, David Williams put the hand up in the air. He's travelled a fair way to get centre field, has David Williams, and he's rewarded with the nice bounce. Oldfield looks, okay, I'll take the lead. And David Williams, clean pair of heels. Very tired chasers behind, but doing well to still be chasing.
That's not an easy kick off the right foot down that left-hand touchline. I'm not sure about the post-match celebration. There is obviously a message here. He lays down and stays very still for a couple of seconds.
Second try of the day for D. Williams. 17th minute and 78th minute of the game. Played for Australia, played Origin, and then of course he had all of last year off, you might say. Cherry Evans at 24-12, 90 seconds of the game remaining, and Daly raises the flags. So 26-12 with just over 1 minute to go. Well done, David. Glenn Stewart is the man of the match. 32 tackles, 8 hit-ups. The KFC, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, so good. Man of the match goes to you, Glenn Stewart. $1,000. Enjoy that from the Colonel. And the big men fly, and down she comes, and Williams is wrapped up by Corey Patterson. Ball spews out the back, and Brett Stewart is with it. 26-12, 14 points in it. Des Hasler, he'd have plenty of reservations about this. He knows he's beaten, as I said earlier, the remnants of a football team. Newcastle's finished up really with just a skeleton football team. And Manly, they're going to beat them 5 tries to 2. 20 seconds from the break. Cherry Evans kicks. Stewart's on top of it. Evans tries to get it. He can't. It goes to ground. It'll be a knock-on. No, he's ruling a penalty. He's ruled that he's knocked this ball forward intentionally to gain an advantage.
Play the penalty, guys. Got to play the penalty.
So Matt Hilda taking the line finder, and we will go through the academics of it all now by Newcastle taking a tackle, and that will be the end of it. Hopoate's got the ball in middle ground. He's made a break. He stepped and he's still going. He flicks it out the back. It's picked up here by Hilda. It's gone over to Zeb Taia, the scorer of 2 tries. He kicks ahead. Stewart picks the ball up. Well, Robertson picks it up, kicks it over the sideline, and it's all over. Manly have won 26-12 at Brookvale in front of a good crowd. There's no time for any more from here. It's goodbye from the football team. Here is National 9 News.